Welcome to SWAMPLEX Radio. This is 12th Planet.
Rubber Band Boy.
12th Planet. The SWAMPLEX Terrestrial.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
What we give them?
12 planets. SWAMPLEX Radio.
What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another edition of SWAMPLEX Radio. I'm your host, 12 Planet, back here as always with the 38th installment of my world infamous radio show on the station that brings you nothing but hugs and kisses in the most prolific way, Insomniac Radio. Now today is special because I have a very special guest who will be joining me later on, and he's doing a mini mix and all that fun shit. But before we get into that, let's get into some music, bitches, starting with the dub plate space. Kicking off the dub plate special is a brand new dubstep garage hybrid by Disciple Roundtable exclusive Samplifier. My boy Sammy has been working extra hard on the next project for the brand, and he's allowed me to preview one of the songs that he just finished. And who knows, maybe this song will be available much sooner than you think.
Dub plate special.
Jump. Jump.
The SWAMPLEX Terrestrial.
Closing out the dub plate special is a mega dub plate by my man Mighty Duck. Now Vlad, aka Mighty Duck, is a Belarusian national who I had the esteemed pleasure of playing alongside with in Moscow 2 weekends ago. We had this crazy show at the spot called Agglomerat, and to say the least, we had entirely way too much fun. Now, one of the perks of being a badass DJ like myself is having the privilege of traveling and getting to see how people get down all over the world. And I gotta admit, the Russian dubstep scene is on a super come up right now. I would recommend you guys go check it out one day, but just make sure you have a translator with you and you should be all good. With that being said, I also want to give a fat shout out to the Russian dubstep dons out there called Invaders. These guys are holding down the movement in a place where the people thought that only techno and drum and bass could survive for dance music. Now, these guys are doing a phenomenal job, and I had so much fun out there. And they even made me get a VK account. So if you guys don't know what VK is like the Russian Facebook, and it's fucking awesome. It's kind of like Facebook and MySpace if they had a baby together. But these guys are doing a phenomenal job, and I had so much fun out there. So, spasiba, bratishka. This show is dedicated to you guys. Now, with that out of the way, it's time to get into some premieres. This week at Disciple Roundtable, we're proud to announce the debut EP of one of the baddest ass people at sea who goes by the name of Wales. Wales is an Israeli-born producer who just recently moved to California and has been on tour with my man Megalodon. I think that it's cool that Megalodon and Wales are touring together because it's literally the greatest Aqua show ever, right? All they need is Jaws, and this would be a dubstep SeaWorld extravaganza. But anyway, here is Destroyer by our man Wales.
12th Planet in the mix.
Hold up, let me fuck it up. Yeah, switch. Fuck that. Yeah, bitch.
G'day, this is Phase 1, and you're listening to 12th Planet's SWAMPLEX Radio.
Finishing off the premiere section is a remix of Phase 1's Break 'Em by the amazing French duo Dirty Phonics. I have to give a shout out to my boy Graham, who's collecting remixes from the best dudes in dubstep like it's fucking Pokemon. I'm absolutely sure this is going to turn into one of the greatest remix albums put together on Disciple. Now, thank you guys for tuning in to SWAMPLEX Radio once again. We're kicking this shit off right now on my Facebook Live. And also, we are simulcasted on Insomniac Radio via Dash Radio. As you know, on this show, I like to play the most up-to-date and latest releases. In fact, most of the stuff I put on the show has either not been released or it's going to get released in the next 2 weeks or something. All this is done within the recording. Now, with that being said, if you think there are some tunes that I'm missing out on, or you just want to give me some shout-outs on the radio, or you just have any general comments for me, please feel free to use the hashtag SWAMPLEX Radio on social media. And who knows, maybe I'll get back to you, or even better, I might give you a mention in the comments.
Out of heaven.
Now, it's time to get into some brand new stinkers from my bros representing each corner of the globe. Kicking off this section is a mega dub plate from my man from Germany called Code Pandorum. The man who reps the Crow's Nest Audio has just sent me a brand new album, boy, and I have the absolute pleasure to share with you guys the first song on this amazing new project. So let me just shut the fuck up and let you guys hear what this is. This is Code Pandorum, Art of the Devil, SWAMPLEX Radio exclusive.
12 planets. SWAMPLEX Radio.
You'll find the entrance to hell.
Pandorum.
The devil landed when he was cast out of heaven.
Shut the fuck up.
And that song that you're hearing in the background is by Akios, and it's called STFU. It's one of the new songs that's on Funcase's DPMO3 that's forthcoming. Who the fuck knows? Maybe sometime this month, maybe sometimes next month. But I know we've been waiting for this compilation for like almost a year. And if you guys know anything about Funcase and DPMO, you know that this is one of the best compilations in dubstep every year. So make sure you guys cop that when that shit drops. Coming up next is one from my boy Blankface repping Savage Society. This one's called Arcade Island.
Just a bunch of fucking whoops.
He want a piece. I spent 20 on my neck, now watch it ding. Why these rappers got they shit up on a string? He say that he love me, I'm in love with money. He just wanna fuck me, boy, you lucky if you touch me. He say that he love me, I'm in love with money. He just wanna fuck me, boy, you lucky.
Goddamn, shout out my boy Blackjack from Miami. Him and Tay Money just made this new one, Lucky. This is absolute fire. My man Blackjack is on fire. He's coming out with brand new shit like once every other week. It's like crazy, man. Like, this dude's output is incredible. Shout out to Blackjack holding it down. All of South Florida, baby. Stepping into the mix is a new one from my boy Charlie Zane, and this song's called Do or Die. It's forthcoming on Snails' label, Slugs Music.
Let me show you how it's done right. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how it's done right. Let me show you.
You just heard some new shit from Eliminate. He just did a remix for Rinks. I think the song is called Burn It Up. Shout out to my boy Nate holding it down. If you guys didn't know, Eliminate, his real name is Nathan. So really his name should be Eliminathan. But anyway, coming up next, we got some round table shit going down. This one's by Uzi and Gummy Kid. This one's an ID and shouldn't be slept on. Followed up by a new one on Never Say Die by Sultan and Nazar, and it's called The Walls Cave In.
Ready to blast. Ready to blast. Combat mode, ready to go. Up against here. Ultimate ready.
What's around the other place? I'm gonna say, hey, look for another boy. Any boy that just look for
All right, you just heard Funk Case and Jekyll and Hyde. That one's called Bounce. That's another song that's forthcoming on the DPMO3 compilation. Shouts out to Circus Records. Shouts out to Funk Case. You guys have been holding it down. That's 2 shout outs for Funk Case in one show. This is a new world record for me. However, just so you guys know, you're listening to SWAMPLEX Radio, and I'm your host, 12th Planet, and I always like to play nothing but the new shit. So coming up next is a new one from Gravedigger, and this one's called Pots and Pans. Now, Gravedigger just sent this to me. He just finished up his debut album, and this is one of the songs that's on it. Now, some of the other songs that are going to be on the album are like Kamikaze and Rampage, and those songs that you already know, but I had to debut one of my favorite other cuts that's on there. So this one's called Pots and Pans, and I'm not sure what it's named after, but back in the day, the drum and bass that I used to be into, people used to call it Pots and Pans because it sounded like it. Bing, 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 bing. They also used to call it Boots in the Dryer. But hey, let's just get into some fucking music. Shout out to my man Gravedigger. Shout out to Heavyweight. Shout out to Carnage for finding this kid and putting him on. Gravedigger, I love you, brother. Here's Pots and Pans.
Oh no, this is going to be another one of those shitty hardstyle tunes.
Get in touch at 12th Planet, hashtag SWAMPLEX Radio.
Why don't you play some f***ing bass music?
Only who can enjoy it. Only the fittest of the fittest shall survive. And when you start to survive, just keep on keeping yourself alive.
And this one you are going to
Yo, this is Murder, and you're listening to 12 Planets Swamplex Radio.
The time has come to unleash hell. Try to resist if you can. I will give you.
And the song that you're hearing in the background right now is by Murda, and it just came out on Disciple Roundtable last week, and this one's called The Titan. So if you haven't heard this already, make sure you go on Spotify or go on SoundCloud, or even if you still purchase music, please buy this EP and support Disciple Roundtable and support the emerging artist Murda, because this is his first EP in like 2 or 3 years, and I'm so proud of him, and he made some fucking fire. I know him and Samplifier are going to be playing at Rampage coming up in March, and I just want to give a fat shout out to our boys. I know they're in France right now working on some brand new material, some brand new music. I can't wait to hear what they cook up. Coming up next is a song called Goblin, and it's by my homegirl Jinx, repping Orlando, Florida. This is Swamplex Radio. I'm 12th Planet.
12th Planet in the mix. Stand by for SWAMPLEX Radio.
Shout out to my man Killfeed with that new song Cheesecake. He just sent this one over to me and I had to drop this. It's a brand new dub plate straight from Killfeed. This kid is making some fire-ass music. Shout out to Killfeed, holding it down, representing Belgium like a motherfucker. All right, coming up next, I got something special for you guys. My man Getter is back. Even though this song is 160 BPM, it's the closest thing to dubstep that Getter has made in the last year or two. So I got to give a fat shout out to my brother Getter, who just dropped this new single called Represent. He also just released a new season of his TV show, The Bros of Simi Valley, which dropped on Friday last week. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you go to Facebook and watch that shit because it is hilarious.
See me on the
coming up next, we got Dr. P Alone. Now, Dr. P is planning on putting out another album. This is going to be his second album, and it's called Animal, Mineral, Vegetable Part 2. I'm not sure when this one is getting released, but this is one of my favorite cuts off the album. You're going to find a lot of singles that have already come out, like Something to Believe In and his collab with Craymac and stuff like that. But this is the entire package, and it's 10 songs of amazing shit. This one's called Alone.
Send it. I wanna feel your fingertips on my skin. I wanna feel your touch if it's empty again. I wanna feel your cold, cold hands. I don't wanna spend another night alone again. I wanna feel your fingertips on my skin. I wanna feel your touch if it's empty again. I don't wanna feel your cold, cold hands. I don't wanna spend another night alone again. Another night alone again. I don't wanna spend another night alone again.
Stand by for SWAMPLEX Radio.
Sick. Now, closing out the tracks part of the section, you just heard one of the sickest collabs of the year so far called Death Club by my man Ominous and my boys, the Gentlemen's Club. Now, last week I had the pleasure of playing a 2013 and 2015 Swamp set at the Commonwealth in downtown Vegas with my boy Ominous for support. Now, if you guys didn't know, I just so happened to be doing this 3-show residency at Nickel Frickin' Beer Night on the first Tuesday of each month. Each show is a completely different theme set by me. Now, coming up on March 10th is going to be the last show of my residency there, and this one's going to be absolutely bonkers. I got support from Algo, aka Al Gore Rhythm, and this one is going to be a straight throwback set from 2007 to 2010-ish. Maybe 2007 to 2009, really. But so if you happen to be in Vegas, please come check us out. It's going to be March 10th at the Commonwealth in downtown Las Vegas. All right, enough of these shameless plugs. It's time to bring out my special guest. This is South Bay legend and former graffiti writer, the one they call Yakz, a.k.a. Yaktivate, a.k.a. Yaktivity, a.k.a. Hunt for Red Yaktober. Anyways, what's up with you, David? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what up, Yakz? Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thanks for coming by, bro. Like, you know, we're some South Bay boys, man. Speaking of the South Bay, I knew you grew up there as well. What were some of your influences growing up, and how the hell did you get into dubstep even?
Yeah, I grew up in Torrance, California, represent. My introduction into dubstep was Akira. I heard Akira on SoundCloud, and I was like, man, I have to make music like that. And shout out to the Savages, Blankface, for helping me.
Oh my God. It's like at first when you said Akira, I thought you were talking about the anime movie. But no, we're not talking about the anime movie. We're talking about one of the greatest rhythm swamp dubstep producers of all time. And I think he's from Scotland, right? Yeah. with that being said, I can see you just released some new music. Can you tell us a little about what's going on with you right now?
Yeah, I just released the Trash Talk EP with collabs with Ben's Mixer and my boy Algo. And then a couple days ago, I just released a song on Circus Records, DPM 03, called Fuck Off.
Yeah. Whoa, I can't believe you named that song Fuck Off. Like, can you give me a little background on like where that came from?
All right, this is kind of a funny story. So, a couple years ago, I'm still with my girlfriend, so don't get any of the story twisted. So,
shout out Michaela, what's up, baby?
Yeah, so this is when we first started dating, and she kind of broke up with me, and I got really mad. So I wrote this song called Fuck Off, and that is literally how the song came to be.
Bro, hey, that's like every love story like known to mankind. Hey, as long as you harness that energy and turn it into a positive instead of like, you know, doing it negative and like just slamming like rails of fucking heroin and shit, you know what I mean? Like, I think this was a successful outcome. Now, I see you got some tattoos on you, man, and one of them says Sudden Daddy. What the fuck is up with that, and how close are you with Danny?
Yeah, shout out to Callie for hooking me up with the tattoo. The tattoo actually does say Sudden Daddy, and it's a pair of butt cheeks that say Yakz Life in it. And also on the other side, it has an Al Ross tattoo, because those are two of my best friends.
That's so cool. If you guys could ever become a trio, what would your trio name be?
Oh, that's a trio. That's a hard one. I'd say just 3 retards trying to make music.
Bro, I actually I fucks with that name, man. So I noticed too on socials that you recently just moved out to the Valley and you got a studio with Sudden Death and Insomniac sound. How's that going for you creative wise, and do you guys gel with each other pretty well?
Yeah. I was living in Northridge, and then I just moved out to North Hollywood with my boy Insomniac Sound, my homie Drax, and my boy Ozzy. And yeah, me, Cody, and Danny had just bought a studio, and surprisingly, we do get a lot done in there, but most of the time we just fuck around. And the first song we wrote in there was called Daddy's Jelly, and it's a rap song.
Yo, I think I heard that rap song. It was like it kind of sounds like the Beastie Boys or something, right? And you guys are like talking about like farts and dicks and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we went for a Cypress Hill Beastie Boys vibe.
Wow, dude, that seems so fucking awesome. And since we're on this train of new music and all this stuff you've been working on in 2020, why don't we just get into this Yakz mini mix right now? So, this is SWAMPLEX Radio. I'm your host, 12 Planet, and you're now listening to Yakz in the Mix. Baby!
SWAMPLEX Radio.
Back. Track out. Gotcha, bitch.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, David. I know you're a busy man, and I truly appreciate it. Now, before you get out of here, you want to tell us what you got planned for 2020, or you got any shout-outs or last words to say?
I got a couple new songs coming out soon. Some very anticipated songs with my boy, Murata. And shout out to Murata, shout out Sudden Death, shout out Somnium South, shout out Al Ross, and my girlfriend, Michaela. Love you.
All right, there you have it. Yakz just broke the internet with that mini mix. Now, it's top 12 time! Kicking off the top 12, we got a new one on Dead Beats by my man Dion Timmer. This one is called Sanctuary.
The top 12.
Versa.
Pilot control online. Thermal systems functional. Fuck.
Catch me in the pit. 1, 2, 3, bring it up now. 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 1, 2, get. this, I came to get down, so let's run it up. You can catch me in the pit. Catch me in the somebody gon' get laid the fuck out.
Where's my dick at?
Yo, this is Barely Alive, and you're listening to 12 Planets SWAMPLEX Radio.
We will wobble through the
Planet, #SWAMPLEX Radio.
All right, shout out to Barely Alive for making Weeble Wobble. That one came out on Christmas Day on Disciple Roundtable. It's an absolute classic, and make sure you send this to all your friends who you're trying to make laugh and cry at the same time. Coming up next is Murda's Cockney Cartel, which came out on the Murda Titan EP, which dropped on Disciple Roundtable last week. Let's get it, bitches.
Yo, this is Murda, and you're listening to 12 Planets Swamplex Radio.
This diesel will fuck you up. I was off my fucking face. You think that's nasty, pal? Up in that Lambo with the team down. Let's go.
All right. Shout out to Bainbridge making Genesis. That's another Disciple Roundtable anthem. Bainbridge coming all the way from Minnesota just gave us an EP on Disciple Roundtable, and it's awesome. It's available on all digital retailers. Make sure you guys like or download or, frickin' send them some comments and some support for this EP. Coming up next is the Rhythm Love Song by Odd Prophet. Now, Valentine's Day was last Friday, and I hope you guys had a day full of hugs and kisses and all kinds of chocolates, and you got to have a lot of fun with your loved ones. Me personally, I'm single, but you know what? Valentine's Day is all about spreading love, so I'm sending all my hearts out to all you guys listening right now. Shout out to Odd Prophet. This one's the Rhythm Love Song. All right, closing out the top 12, that's Spag Hetty, Raise Your Hands. And that just came out on Never Say Die like a week ago. I got to give a fat shout out to my man, Misha, a.k.a. Spag Hetty. He is one of the most talented producers out right now, and it's always a pleasure running into him. So at this time of the episode, I usually like to play something that maybe it might not fit in my set, but I was really impressed by the production, and it's a really, really awesome song, and it's usually made by like a drum and bass or a dubstep producer or something of that nature. However, this one is by Liquid Stranger, and who just dropped a mega EP, and this song is called Psychonaut, and it's super trippy.
12 planets. SWAMPLEX Radio.
That brings us to the end of episode 38, and it's time to get into the Rewind Special. This week's Rewind Special is by AD and Shivers, and it's called Simtex. Now, this one really isn't like a mega rewind special. This is more like a reload special, being that this song just came out in 2018. However, now I got to give a fat shout out to Shivers, who will be joining me on the Swamplex Next Level Tour, which begins in a couple weeks. The first show is in collaboration with Bass Rush and is going to be taking place in Santa Ana at the Observatory. I got a shit ton of new visuals, I got a shit ton of new music, and we got some production that we're going to be debuting there. I also got Shivers and Bandles for support on the entire tour, and on this special date that's going to be taking place in Santa Ana, we've got Monks as a special guest. The following week, we're going to be in Los Angeles at the Exchange in collaboration with Bass Rush 2, and it's going to be the same lineup. Me, Shivers, Monks, and Bandles. It's going to be one to remember. So if you guys haven't got your tickets, make sure you go to 12planetofficial.com or bassrush.com. Or if you're in the chat listening to this show right now on my Facebook Live, all you have to do is click the events tab on my Facebook page and voila! Tickets ahoy, matey! Well, all right, enough of these shameless plugs. It's time to get into the Rewind Special. This is AD and Shivers. The song is called Semtex, and I'm peacing out, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Rewind.
This lot are part of a firm, and there could be loads of them.
Monsters! Monsters! Monsters!
Who is it?
12 Planet.
Light 'em up.